Hi, I'm Chris and we are JCD. In this week's episode, the snow tries to stop us in our tracks. I'm struck down with a mystery illness and we managed to save a manufacturing client from shutting down for the entire Christmas period. Let's roll the footage. Monday morning. Disappointing weekend because obviously England went out of the World Cup to Italy. To be expected really, isn't it, as an England fan. They never really do too well, do they? And I knew when they come up against some good opposition like they did in France, even though the ref was terrible, they're out. But anyway, that stops us drinking anymore. It's Monday morning. I'm not sure if you can see behind me, something's happened the weekend and I've come out this morning and there is half a foot of snow everywhere, which is not ideal because we had a couple of drainage jobs booked in and they are repairs. But the problem with repairs is they're based on temperature. So because it's so cold, it's actually probably about -1, I'm not going to be able to do them today. So looks like we have got a bit of a snow day, as they call it in the UK. So checked in all the contracts. Most people got to work. Interestingly enough, the people that didn't get to work live closer to the place than some of the other people. In most instances, which always amazes me, but to be fair, with days like today it's always expected. All the schools we do are going to be shut, so we haven't got to worry about any of that. So we haven't got to worry about that. So it's a bit of an admin day today. Unfortunately, I have been out, the roads are reasonable and hopefully the snow will clear by tomorrow and we can get back to some sort of business as usual. But to be honest, not bad. We'll catch up with some emails and bits and pieces that I keep saying I need to do that I just ain't getting around to. We'll do a little workout in the gym, and we'll take it as a little bit of a relaxing day. So not really much going on today. Mixed results when it snows in the UK. It does now and then, and usually everything comes to a grinding halt. But it's not been that bad. The main roads are clear, so all the cleaning contracts will pretty much be business as usual, except some of the schools that are closed. So we'll keep an eye on things, but nothing crazy going on today. So if it's snowing where you are, enjoy it. If it's not, lucky you, and I'll check in with you guys Tuesday morning, hopefully with less snow. What's today? Tuesday. Yesterday was snow day. Nothing happened. I had a couple of repairs that I needed to do, but obviously because the weather was -3, it would probably take about 4 days for these patches to cure. So didn't get out and do them. I'll have to postpone them because it's still -2 and there's still snow everywhere. I did have a couple of other small jobs as well yesterday that come in, so I put these over today. I've been to one already. One was a supported living site, and they had a leak under the sink. When I got there, there was the hot and cold feed for the washing machine. The hot one wasn't being used. It had a cap on it, but however, it did have a switch or a shut-off valve that the resident had knocked on. He turned it on and it was leaking. So I turned it off, took the, they don't use it, they didn't have a dishwasher, and there's never been a feed there according to the lady that looks after this premises. So I put it in a lock position and took the switch off, so that way when the tenant, who I say is a supported living site, so I believe they have some learning difficulties, try and encourage them to live on their own. He's obviously under the sink getting something, he's knocked it, panicked, not really sure what to do. So it was a pretty easy fix, to be honest. I'm now over in Maidstone and we are installing the good old rat walls again. We seem to be at a flurry of these. That's because we done a handful of surveys for a pest control company, and wherever a resident or a group of residents complain that they're getting pest activity, sometimes you go there, you can see that there's pests in there, but for the avoidance of doubt and what they cost, I always recommend that they put some of them in to stop them actually getting into the main building. So I've got 3 to put in Maidstone, and then I've got a block sink in Canterbury. The roads are still, the main roads are okay, the side roads are still a bit itchy. So I've got that to do today, and then I'll probably call it a day and catch up with some admin. I couldn't stop sleeping so bad lately. Not quite sure what the cause is, but I woke up about 3:30 this morning, tried to go back to sleep, couldn't have it, so I jumped up, had a shower, went downstairs and got on with some paperwork, to be honest. Wife come down about 7 thinking I'd packed up my stuff and left and had enough. But yeah, I was working downstairs, so yeah, not quite sure what's going on there. I say, kind of struggling with the sleep a little bit at the moment, but managed to get loads done, which is good. The inbox is looking pretty clear. So yeah, positive morning. Been a long morning already. What's the time now? It's 10 o'clock now. So yeah, got this one to do. We're going to jump out now, and then we're going to head over to do that block sink, and then that will be it for Tuesday. So let's get out the van into the cold and get these rambles in. So we put our 3 rat blockers into the 3 points where it exits the building from the stacks to the communal flats. But interestingly enough, whilst on our travels here, we have a look at this. Might be squeamish. In and around the bin area, there's a surprise. So we'll report that back to the customer, and then we're on to the next one. So the third job of today was a blocked, well actually the lady was complaining that there was water leaking out of her sink. Usually sink related, it's something to do with the washing machine or the kitchen line being blocked. On this occasion I looked under the sink and used the wet pickup to try and vacuum it out, but it didn't seem to be shifting it. So I managed to get to the outside point where there's a gully, and it was just blocked with food and debris there. I'll get Adam to put a picture up on here. So that wraps up for the jobs today. Tomorrow I've got a survey. As I say, a bit of a quiet week this week, to be honest, unless any other bits of drainage comes in. But I'll use that time just to catch up on some bits of admin that I've got to do for JCD. I'm still waiting for some prices back for that Cali liner that me and Ben at Blue House Drainage didn't manage to get out. We're going to have to use some higher pressure water, and I mean ultra high pressure. So I'm just running some cost past the customer with that one. Unfortunately, it's going to be an additional cost to what we'd already priced in, but he's a reasonable guy. So yeah, so it's around 1 o'clock. So I'm going to head back down to JCD HQ, check for the post, and then I will catch you guys tomorrow where we are in Sittingbourne, nice and local to the office where we've got a survey to do. And that's it for tomorrow so far, but we'll see how the rest of the day pans out. Checking out. It's Wednesday. We are over in Crawley, near Godstone again. Seems to be a bit going on over here, which is nice. Got a bit of a cough. I think I'm coming down with something. God help us. Dreaded man flu. Come out to a call out today. A customer has called me yesterday. They have a sink that is blocked. The maintenance man's had a look at it and he's realised that it actually runs into a downpipe that is behind you guys in the camera, which goes to a soakaway, which is not ideal. But the reason the sink is blocked is because, I'm going to spin you guys round, the pipe that is here is a bit downhill. It's not as flat, and as you don't know if you can see that is solid ice where it's got a backfall on it, so that needs a new connection. The guys obviously cut it out. I've tried to do it that way, but it's solid all the way through. So yeah, we'll make a recommendation with that. The customer also asked that we check that the toilet what way that runs, and it runs a slightly different way and it goes into a manhole that's over the other side, so there's no problem with that. But this isn't ideal really. It shouldn't be going to a soakaway. It should be going into the foul line. So we'll make some recommendations of that. I reckon it's easily done. There's some boxing around there. We can just put it round by near where the toilet goes into, so that should be a pretty quick win. I've got a couple of jobs on today. I've got a survey that I keep putting off, which is only near the office, so we're going to go and get that done today, get that finished. And I have a leaky tap that I've got to go to. So we're finished at this one now. Let's head back in the van and get back down to Kent. So we just finished our second job. It took me forever to get here. It's over in Tenterden. We do a bit of work for a social housing provider, and it can, to be honest with you, I feel for people that are in social housing. It can be so frustrating because everything you do, you're told to go there and just do a temporary fix or make safe, as they call it within the social housing industry. This is not a drainage job. Obviously, drainage, we come and try and clear it straight away. This one wasn't a drainage job. They said, oh, we're short at the moment, can you send a plumber around? So that plumber's me, just because the tap was leaking. So I've gone and done all the normal checks. The tap's at it, it needs replacing. As you shut off the cold, it's still letting a little bit of water through, which is why I could go around Screwfix and buy one, but then they won't pay you. It's just ludicrous. The woman's going to have to wait now for me to submit a cost when I get back, which is fine. I'll do that straight away tonight, and then have to wait 2 weeks for someone in this social housing provider to then approve the cost. It's just ludicrous. And in the meantime, although it's better, you know, it's not so bad in this scenario, but imagine you didn't have any heating or anything like that. It's just crazy, real frustrating, to be honest. But yeah, not uncommon with social housing providers. Right, I'm going to get over to Sittingbourne and do a survey, and then that's going to wrap up today. Thank God. Let's go. Found a receipt on the floor. We went to the third job, which luckily enough was local to the office, because I have actually been to this job on 4 occasions now. Twice I dealt with one manager. The third and fourth time round, I dealt with a different manager. I've tried to survey this site twice. The first time we went there, they failed to tell me it was above a 300mm pipe, so it's quite a big, large diameter pipe. So I didn't have the right kit with me, because you know they didn't mention. They just said, oh yeah, we've got a drainage system that needs doing, and I assumed it would be within 4 to 9 inch, which it wasn't. So I didn't have the right kit with me. This time I go there, it's full. The system's full. Now they're on a tank system there. So I lifted all the manholes. He said, oh, do the other 3, but they were full as well. So don't get me wrong, we've had a lot of snow, there's been a lot of surface water, etc. So a failed visit again, which is not ideal. I will charge them this time. It's twice has happened now. It's only around the corner. It'll only be a small call-out fee, but you know, they know I'm coming. It's booked in advance. Just be ready. It's just out of respect. These guys are there all the time. Just make sure it's ready for us. You know, get the job done, and I'll get the survey over them, because they finished this site next week, so they'll be on at me to get it done, and it'll be a mad rush, which is disappointing, especially when we've had 2 other opportunities. So the time is about 3 o'clock now. I say I've not been feeling too great today for some reason. So yeah, a little bit sniffly, bit of a little cough. So early night for me tonight, and then I have a relaxed day tomorrow. I have actually got a tender that I need to get back, which I'm going to come down to HQ and focus on. Got to go and pick up the window cleaning van. We've had some work done on that, because the battery keeps going, so there's some other bits and pieces. So yeah, another busy day. Although we've been feeling under the weather, still got it done, which is the main thing. So that wraps up Wednesday, guys. I will see you guys bright and early in the morning, as always, just ready to smash Thursday. Yes, gang, it's Thursday. Knew it was coming. It's actually 3 o'clock in the afternoon now. As you know, we like to get up early, get our stuff done. I've been feeling a bit off the last couple of days, just a bit bunged up, like you get that feeling that you know something's coming. And then last night, I was ill, under the weather, just hot sweats, didn't hardly sleep at all. Slight cough coming on. So yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I had a relatively quiet day today. I was going to go down to JCD HQ and get on with some tender work down there, but I didn't do nothing. I didn't actually I stayed in bed, paracetamol up till around 12 o'clock today. It's one of those days I've mentioned on the channel before. We're only human at the end of the day, and you're not going to get out of bed and smash every day, get up at 5 o'clock, do meditation, cold plunges and all this rubbish. It's just not reality. So we're a little bit under the weather for the last couple of days, but we're not going to go on about it too much. So today has been a bit of a non-starter. I've just been out and about. I did run down to JCD HQ. I just wanted to get some stuff sorted out down there, so I have gone down there latter part of the afternoon. I had some checks to pay in, because say we've still got the odd customer that does pay us by check, oddly enough, in the modern world we're in. So I had to run and pay some checks in, and I've got a few other bits and pieces to do. I've got some tenders that I need to get back this afternoon, so I'm going to spend the rest of the afternoon doing that. My car's playing up at the moment as well. The battery seems to be flat. I haven't because I haven't drove it for about 6 days, and the weather has been very, very cold, as you guys know, and you've seen all the snow that's been in this week's video. Had a couple of okays for a few drainage jobs next week, so we've got a few days of work there, which is nice. Always nice to get a bigger chunk of pieces of work in, you know, not the block, you know, the reactive blockages are nice, but when you can just book out a day, half a day, it's better money, it's easy planning. So we've got a couple of days next week. One, we're over doing some ACO drains that you guys have actually seen us do before. Me and Adam done a standalone video about that, and then we've got half a day's work up in the city with some rainwater gullies that need to be descaled, so we'll take up our machines up there and get that done next week. And yeah, obviously it's starting to move towards Christmas now. I'm not an advocate of going, oh well, it's December now, we're basically going to stop doing what we're doing and basically take the month of December off. That's not how we work, but it is a nice time to sit back and actually take a little bit of stock. Monday I'm meeting with Adam. We've got 2 videos we're going to put down, and that's going to probably wrap up 2022 in terms of some of the stuff we put out. So we'll put down that. I want to have a chat with him about some of our strategy for next year and what that looks like. You know, I'm ready to put our foot down with that and sort of, you know, continue with our content creation journey and being the original content creator for the cleaning industry. I think I'm pretty confident in saying that's what we are, doing it how we do, giving a window into our industry, and we're going to carry that on a bit more and hopefully do a little bit more partnership stuff, working with other companies, showing, you know, what the cleaning industry looks like at scale. That's the plan. We've also got a couple of ideas I'm not going to divulge just yet, because I don't know what they look like in my own head yet. So we'll get around the table with Adam and we'll get some ideas down around that, and then we'll keep you guys informed. I'm going to carry on doing weekly, you know, throughout the Christmas period, although they may be shorter episodes. Just want to keep you guys up to date with what's going on, you know, even during, the camera keeps slipping down, even during the festive period, what goes on, because what I'm trying to do is document, you know, the business journey that I'm on, and that carries on throughout Christmas and New Year as well. So you know, there won't be no gaps in our weekly episode. Hopefully you guys carry on tuning in with that, and then we'll have some new one-off videos for you guys next week. So yeah, sorry, been under the weather, not much going on today, but tomorrow is Friday. We're down at JCD HQ. We've got a few bits going on, so wraps up today, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace. Friday morning, we are over in Lenham in Kent. I'm dying. I'm definitely coming down with something. Whatever happens today, I'm doing this job and that is it. I am going home and I'm staying in my bed for the rest of the weekend. But slight emergency job today. So we're over in Lenham, a customer of ours, regular one. They have had a large spillage into one of their machines, which means they cannot produce the product that they need to. So as a result, we've got a large tanker over here and we've got our tanker over here, because it's quite a small area to get around the other side. So we're going to empty it out for the customer, and then they can see what the problem is and then get back up and running. I've done a couple of other jobs already this morning. I've done a frozen pipe. I'll get Adam to put that on the screen here, and a leaking bath as well. Jumped up early. I was hoping that would be it, but then I had this phone call, so I've had to come over here. So yeah, big chores out today. Tanker, let's get this line empty, and then we're going to go home, call it a day, and I am having a well-deserved rest. good thing about our rear comm, and one of the reasons that it's here on site accompanying one of the Arctic tankers, is because it can get into small spaces. I know the capacity is not good enough, and to be honest with you, I do wish I had a bigger one, and I will get one eventually, but no tankers getting through this little gap here. You know, you've got the barrier there and there, and we need to be pumping from this side. So it's a real good bit of kit, real handy to have, because it just fits in small spaces, to be honest. So shame the capacity is not a bit bigger, but it is what it is. So just finished pumping one station. I'm just going to wait for that to finish, and then I've got to take some hose. I am going to get some extra hose for this. I'm going to get a friend of mine, Matt at Hazel Hydraulics, to do us some extra hose, because sometimes we come up a little bit short. So hopefully not much longer on this job. It's nearly done now. One tank's empty, we're just trying to do the other one, and then I will get down and do the small pit this side when they finish doing the main pit. So we're nearly there. And we have eventually got it done. Any other week of the year, this should have been an hour job maximum, but it's taken us all day. We had a bigger tanker here, which was fine. That emptied out one pit. There's one right at the far end over there, and there's one close to us just here. The one close to us here, that's why we had the rear comm. But where it's been sat at the office for the last 2-3 days, it wasn't sucking. So I've had to take it to a compost area around the back, open the back door. It's frozen solid, and I mean like with massive clumps of ice. And then it still wasn't working, which tells me something was blocked in the hose. And just as I was about to say, look, I'm going to have to call it a day, and we'll have to come back Monday, a big black piece of ice come out the hose, and it was working. So we've just managed to get it done, which is good, because the customer would have been royally pissed off if I hadn't got this done, because this factory cannot run with them two tanks, without them two tanks, because the water feeds the machines. So we saved the day. I was hoping not to be here long, to be honest, but it's turned into an all-day thing. So yeah, is what it is. As I say on the channel before, sometimes you win the day, sometimes it's a bit of a pain in the arse, and today was one of those days, especially as I'm under the weather. But we soldier on. Back home now, I'm going to be doing nothing the weekend. A manic week, hopefully a bit quieter next week. A couple of big drainage jobs, catching up with Adam, and we're going to wrap up the end of the year. So, as always, thanks for checking in. Hit that like and subscribe button. Enjoy the weekend, and I'll see you guys Monday morning.